Looking for a way to turn learning into fun at your house? Well, we're going to show you how to magically transform common household ingredients into amazing toys both you and your children will love.
We'll share fun concoctions that use science, art, and mathematics to entertain and educate your children. That's all coming up on Kid Concoctions and Contraptions.
Hi, and welcome to Kid Concoctions and Contraptions. We're your hosts, John Thomas
and Danita Thomas.
As the parents of 4 energy-filled children, we're always looking for great ideas that make learning fun.
And over the years, we've developed hundreds of concoctions and contraptions recipes. And today, we're going to share dozens of our favorites with you.
So let's get started.
With our first concoction, this is gooey gunk.
That's right. And although to the children it's going to look like magic, it's actually a science experiment demonstrating how 2 liquids become a solid. And this is our gooey gunk. It is squishy, ooey, and gooey. And parents, maybe remember something similar to this back in the 70s that used to come in a little trash can? Well, that item was $5 for 4 ounces in the stores. I'm going to show you how to make it today for just pennies using things you probably already have around your house. Let's get started with our first mixture, which is a bowl full of a little bit of white school glue, the same glue that the kids use in school.
That's right.
And to that, we're going to add just a few drops of food coloring, or what I like to do is use a washable colorant. That way, if it gets on the kids' hands, it'll wash right off. I'm going to stir this up. Well, Danita makes solution B.
Yes, in solution B, I just have 1 1/3 cup of water, and I'm adding to that 4 teaspoons of a borax laundry booster. Now, this laundry booster can be found in most of your laundry sections in your stores. It's, once again, a household ingredient. Works very well in your laundry, too.
It really does. I think we've gotten kind of hooked on that. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm stirring the glue and the food coloring or washable colorant together. And to this, we're going to add just 1 cup of water. And the nice thing about this is not only are we learning about science and having fun with the children, but we're teaching them life skills like measuring and mixing that, you know, we want all of our kids to learn to cook, even our boys, right? So they're going to take this with them throughout their entire lifetime, and it's just a great way to spend time with the kids. Okay, now this is the magic part. Take a look at this. Now, the instant these 2 liquids touch each other, that's when the magic's going to start to happen. And the ooey gooey fun part, which I always like to do, is reach my hands in here. Let me turn this over and look at this, an instant chemical reaction. We have created what this quantity in the stores would be $20, and we've made it for pennies, probably about between 30 to 50 cents, depending on where you get your ingredients.
Right, and not only are you saving money, but the kids are learning while they're having fun. In fact, often they're learning so much they don't even realize it because it's all this creative play, creative learning. The kids, they'll respond to that so much better. I know I do, rather than studying in a book.
That's right, and instead of saying, hey kids, let's learn about science today, you can say, let's make gooey gunk, and the kids are learning, and learning can be fun. We need to get past that barrier. Learning can be fun, and learning is fun.
And we're going to show you lots of ways to make
Lots of
fun.
ways today. Well, if you take a look at this, you can see it's already started to firm up and look like the sample I showed you at the very beginning. Danita and I have made this project, without exaggeration, I would say at least 1,000 times. 2 minutes of kneading. We'll turn this into exactly what we showed you in the very beginning. Now, the other thing you can do, there are lots of variations you can do with the gooey gunk, is add a little bit of glow-in-the-dark paint.
Right,
and if you take a look at this, here's some that I made earlier. Look at that bright, vibrant glow. I mean, imagine the kids playing with this outside on the front porch at nighttime. It looks like it's neon. It glows up. It's bright. It's vibrant, and a lot of fun. Also, you could do maybe for Halloween, put some little rubber night crawlers in there, which I know that's not one of Danita's favorites, but a lot of fun and a great science experiment.
Right, and when you're not playing with that, just store it in an airtight container or a little zip-type bag.
A little zip bag.
Right,
and it'll last a long time.
A very, very long time. Now, moving on to our next concoction. This is a sparkle bottle. And all it looks like a bottle of liquid with a little bit of stuff in the bottom. I'm going to shake it right now, and you're going to see how we can teach our kids about particle suspension and density of liquids by making this out of nothing more than just a little bit of kitchen corn syrup, some confetti, and water. That's it. I've recycled a plastic bottle here, put in my corn syrup, drop in my confetti and water, and you can see the kids will assume that this magically suspends inside this bottle. But once again, it's a lesson in particle suspension and the density because the syrup is so thick.
That's right, and that's greeting card confetti. If you've ever opened a birthday card and it falls all over the floor, sweep it up, save it, and make yourself a sparkle bottle.
Right, and use this opportunity to teach the kids. You know, you could buy these confettis in different holidays. You could buy different colors, different shapes. Help them to sort out their shapes, sort out their colors. Help them to learn to count. Just all different types of opportunities here for learning as you concoct.
Also makes a great paperweight or a weight for balloons at a birthday party for the center of a table. Now let's take a look at what is truly, I say all the concoctions are my favorites, but this really is my favorite of all time. And
Probably because you invented it.
Probably because I invented it, but this concoction is, needless to say, a Kid Concoctions original. Thank you. And look at this. It is a treasure stone. And it's truly amazing because it looks like a rock and feels like a rock. In the store, I saw this selling for $24.95. But we're not going to spend $24.95. We're going to make it for a few cents. Take a look at this. As I break it open, there are secret treasures hid inside. And this is wonderful for a birthday party. In fact, that's how I came up with the idea. Our son wanted to have a pirate-themed birthday party, and we hid these in the backyard, gave all of the kids treasure maps, and it was so much fun. But you could also put little dinosaurs in here, little cars. I mean, just really adapt it for whatever you're doing. Very easy to do, and once again, a recycling project. Our magic ingredient right here, used coffee grounds. And if you don't drink coffee, which I don't drink coffee, go to one of the fast food restaurants during breakfast time, take them a little bag and ask them if you can have the coffee grounds. So I'm going to pour in the bowl my used coffee grounds.
And these need to be used, remember that.
Yeah, they have to be used or it won't work. A little bit of flour, some regular table salt, and some play sand from the sandbox or from the beach. And we're going to mix these dry ingredients together. And while I mix these, Danita, if you could add that water.
Sure.
Now, what you're going to do is you're going to add a little bit of water. And I would say slowly add the water because it depends on how wet your coffee grounds are. You want this to mix together and turn into a nice dough, just like I have right here. Now, you're going to take your dough. It'll be about the consistency of a bread dough. Make it into a ball. And then put your finger in the center and make a little cavity. Now, Danita, if you can select some secret treasures for me to put inside.
And like John said, this could be a different birthday themes, party themes. You know, if you're doing a theme for the kids at the different holidays, it could be adapted for any type of theme you want inside your secret treasure stone.
There you go. Just pinch the dough around it, seal it up. Now, at this point, you can put it in the oven at a very low temperature and bake it, or if it's a nice hot summer day, set it outside for a few hours and you have a treasure stone. Once again, you didn't have to spend a lot of money. It wasn't $24.95 like it cost in the store. You made it for probably around 20 cents. Great project.
Yes, and speaking of saving money, this next concoction will save you a lot of money too, and the kids are going to love to make this one. We're going to make our own scent, our own perfume, our own fragrance. We call them silly scents. What I have here is just a recycled film container I washed out well with soap and water, and I'm going to add that a little bit of orange peel. Now you can use orange peel, you can use lemon peel.
You can even use grapefruit peel.
That's right, or you can use spices too as well. Here I'm adding a few drops of cloves, which makes it a little spicy in case this happens to be a boy's fragrance. After that, I'm going to top it off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Once again, this is just a common household ingredient. Most of us do have rubbing alcohol right in our pantry.
First aid cupboard or in the first aid kit. Right. Now, the neat thing about this is a science experiment because what happens is the alcohol extracts the oil from the orange peel, the lemon peel, or the grapefruit peel.
Or the cloves.
Or the cloves. And the longer this sets, the better the fragrance is. And I love this for our daughter because if you're a parent, you probably bought those little perfumes that the girls use in the store. And sometimes the fragrance is really, really strong. And that's a nice way to put it. This is always a mild citrus-like fragrance, and it's a science experiment. And once again, if you're making cologne for the boys, add a little bit of cloves, and it gives it that spicy scent.
Right, and what you could do, like I've done here, is put it in more decorative bottles. The kids can make these concoctions, this one and many others, as gift-giving items. You can dress them up as much as you want, or do it as casual as just a recycled plastic container.
That's right. A lot of fun and a great science experiment. Now, this next project, I have to tell you, I was in New York City at a big fancy toy store when they first introduced sidewalk paint, and it was so cool, but it was around $15. You would paint with it on the sidewalk. It would dry in seconds. Well, we took that home and found out what they were selling really was essentially cornstarch and a little bit of powdered food coloring. So what we're making now is an exact duplicate for probably about 3 or 4 cents. What I have in this cup is a little bit of cornstarch. To that, I'm going to add some of our washable liquid colorant or food coloring, whatever you have, and a little bit of water. And we're going to stir that right up. and paint with it on the sidewalk.
And while John mixes his concoctions, I want to mention you can take the same mixture and put it in a spray bottle like I have here. This same concoction, the sidewalk paint, now becomes spray chalk.
And they sell that spray chalk in the store for $14.95.
Right, so you're saving a lot of money on that concoction too. Take this same mister to the beach. You have a biodegradable, safe for the environment sand paint, or take it outside and spray paint your snowman if you happen to be lucky enough to live where it snows.
That's right, or your snow angels. And it's great on the sidewalk because when you use it as spray chalk, you can lay stencils on the sidewalk and spray great big rainbows. But watch what happens when we paint with it, as Danita's going to do here. We'll put a lot on there in a matter of just a few seconds. This will dry, will look and feel just like chalk, and it washes off when it rains outside. Or you can take a garden hose and just hose it off. But it's great if kids are doing large murals, so they don't have to sit there and color with the regular stick chalk. They can cover a large amount of space in a short amount of time. And that's it. And you didn't spend $14.95 for the kit like you would in the store. You made it for a few pennies.
That's right. Our next project we're going to show you how to make is one of my favorites.
One of my favorites, too, because it is a concoction you can eat. Shake it, make ice cream.
That's right. John, if you hold the bag, I'll start
Sure.
pouring stuff in. The neat thing about this shake and make ice cream, you're going to get that wonderful homemade old-fashioned ice cream flavor without the expense and without the inconvenience. You just take a zip bag here, just a plastic bag. I'm adding to there a cup of milk. You could do milk, you could do cream, depending on how decadent you want this to taste. A little bit of sugar and a little bit of vanilla. Now at this time you could squirt some chocolate or put some fresh fruit in there to make a different type of fruit flavored ice cream.
Or my favorite, a little bit of peanut butter and a little bit of jelly to make peanut butter and jelly ice cream.
You guys, we get very creative with our ice cream flavors.
You can experiment and use all different types of things with this one.
Okay, what we're going to do now is zip this bag, and John's grabbing our second bag, which is nothing more than a larger bag.
That's right. So this is your fancy ice cream maker 2 zip bags.
Right. The larger bag has ice in it. We're just adding in here some salt. Now, same thing. This salt can be kosher salt. It could be table salt. It could even be rock salt.
It can be rock salt. Now, what's happening here is, once again, a science experiment. The salt is melting the ice and cooling the cream inside of this bag, or the half and half, to create delicious, decadent ice cream.
And it's in a way, it's turning another liquid into a solid, right, John?
That's right. So we're going to shake this bag, and for 5 to 7 minutes, we will have some of the best ice cream you have ever tasted.
Let's get shaken. A little workout right here.
It is an aerobic workout, the ice cream workout.
I think that's just about ready, John.
There we go.
We're going to open up our bag now and get out our ice cream bag.
And this is the fun part, the tasty
Yes, it
part.
is. We look forward to it. John, if you want to just snip the end of that bag
I
off.
sure will.
Squeeze the ice cream down to the end.
And this is fun because it's almost like those little soft serve pumps that they have at the ice cream shop. Let's make sure I cut that hole big enough. Did I, or should I make it a little bigger?
Maybe a little bigger.
Let me cut that a little bigger.
This is some firm ice cream.
I thought that was a little small. There we go.
Here we go.
Let's try that.
Now what you could do, you could just eat it right out of the bag, or you could do what we're doing, squeeze it out like a soft serve treat. And what we like to do
looks
is
so good.
let the kids have fun with it. This is a great activity at the birthday party because not only are kids eating ice cream at a birthday party, but let them make it. It makes that activity and the ice cream taste even better.
That's right. And how often do you go to a birthday party where the kids actually can each make their own serving of ice cream? Now you can top it. We're going to put a little bit of candy on top of there, just like so. Or you can put sprinkles or nuts, whatever you like. A little cherry to top it off. And now the fun part, the taste test.
We want to show you that you really can eat this. In fact, we enjoy eating this.
I'll let you go first, although that's very difficult for me to do. Take a test. How is it? Pretty good, huh?
Wonderful. This surprises me. I promise you, this tastes like those old-fashioned, the
Delicious
cranky.
old-fashioned ice cream.
You're right, the ice cream. It tastes wonderful. And you saw it was so easy to make.
And once again, there are so many different things you can add to this. It's a lot of fun. The possibilities are endless. Now, from tasty treats onto fun treats, it's also another science experiment, our hydrojet boat, which is recycling as well. Here we have a soda bottle that I punched a little hole at the bottom, put his drinking straw in there, and then just sealed around the drinking straw with a little bit of glue. And Danita, if you want to pour the baking soda in there, I have some white vinegar at the bottom of the bottle. And as soon as Danita pours that in there, I'm going to have to put this lid on really fast, just like so. Put it in the tank. And look at that. There goes our super hydro jet boat. And once again, you could even make a couple of these, and the kids could have boat races. It's a great recycling project and a lot of fun, and great for a science fair. Also, if you're learning about propulsion or chemical reactions or how gases interact or how gas is created, great science experiment.
And most of us have those ingredients right in our
We sure
kitchen
do.
cupboard.
Kitchen cupboard ingredients.
As with our next ingredient, our giant kiss here. These are popular in the store. You can buy them. They could be expensive, but what's neat is when you can make your own. Because with ours, you can personalize your own message. But you'll be surprised to hear how easy this is to make. All you do is take a regular kitchen funnel like I have here, stop up the end with a little foil, melt down some chocolate chips in your microwave, and then spoon them in. Now, when you fill it all up with your chocolate, you just want to put this funnel in the refrigerator, maybe in a cup.
Actually, yeah, if you put it in a cup, we'll hold it upright, put it in the refrigerator for about 15 or 20 minutes.
Right, pop it out, wrap it in foil, and there you go. You've made your own giant kiss. And a couple of tips I want to give you for this. You can use all the different types of chocolates there are now. There's milk chocolate, there's white chocolate, there's even the peanut butter chocolate mix. So be creative with this. Let the kids layer them and do different things, but the most important part is that they can make their very own message.
That's right. It's a lot of fun and very inexpensive. Now, if you take a look at my next project, it is a, whoa, I just lost control, a water balloon yo-yo. I saw these in one of those, those shopping mall kiosk carts several years ago. They were very expensive, but we made ours for just pennies.
A fun contraption, yes?
That's right, a fun contraption. Nothing more than a party balloon. Blow it up. Actually, you want to put it on the faucet first. Give it a squirt of water. Blow it up till it's about the size of a baseball or softball. Take a rubber band, cut it in half, tie one end of the rubber band to the balloon, tie a loop in the other end for your finger, and there you have it, a water balloon yo-yo. You can also decorate it for the very different holidays. You can maybe use a black marker and draw a jack-o'-lantern face on that, or make it an Easter egg or a Christmas ornament. A lot of things you can do with that one.
Right, and what I like to show the kids, if you took a water balloon and you dropped it on the sidewalk, we all know that the water would have nowhere to go and it would explode. I like to drop this over and over in front of them and watch their surprise when it doesn't. And it's a great way to teach them that because the water has a place to expand up into the pocket of air, it doesn't rupture like a regular water balloon. So it also makes it a little bit more durable for your children.
That's right. Our next project is something that looks like fancy polished beads or stones, but wait till you hear what it's made out of.
Nothing more than the Indian corn that all of us have around the holidays. What you want to do is when you're finished enjoying it, turn it over. You can see here, I've taken it off the cob. Just peel it right off. Drop it in a cup of water. And the neat thing about this, it's going to soften the little kernels overnight.
Just like canned corn almost.
Right. You soften it to where it can very easily, by a child, be threaded with a needle and thread. Just be careful with them, with the needle and thread. Watch over them. You can make necklaces, earrings, bracelets.
Also a great way
keychains.
if you're talking about Thanksgiving or the Pilgrims and the Indians. A great way to introduce children to that by making Indian corn jewelry.
Use these time to really establish your family's traditions and values. But another neat tip for science, just let the cup sit on your counter and you'll begin to see the scientific aspect of gardening. You'll see the plant life actually, the root break through and start to grow.
It'll start to sprout. In fact, we threw some of these off our deck, and a few months later we had corn stalks growing.
Did.
So a great gardening project as well. Well, right here is something I love. You've heard of scratch and sniff markers? This is a scratch and sniff watercolor paint you can make out of something in your kitchen cupboard.
Yes, most of us, if not, you can find it very easily in your grocery store. Nothing more than a powdered drink mix, a tablespoon of water.
And you want to use the unsweetened powdered drink mix.
That's right, and you just mix it up. It's ready to paint. It makes a beautiful, beautiful, vibrant paint. But I call it aromatherapy painting for children because it smells absolutely wonderful. You can let them paint the different fruits to smell like the different fruits, and you can scratch and sniff like I'll do right here. And it smells wonderful.
That's right. Well, right now we're going to show you how to make something fancy for that Thanksgiving table. What we've done is we've taken a little miniature pumpkin and used an apple core and just put a little candle inside. Or you can have the kids paint a face on the pumpkin, just like so. And there you go. You have candles for your Thanksgiving dinner. Now, one of my favorite projects, and I say this again, they're all my favorite projects,
all of them.
is magic muck. And in this bowl, I have nothing more than a little bit of cornstarch. And to that, I'm going to add some liquid colorant and some water. And this is neat. Actually, you have to make sure you have the right proportions because to the children, we're going to say to them, is this a liquid or is it a solid?
Right, so this is another science experiment, a little bit of magic going on here for the kids. And the neat thing I want to say why John's mixing this up, you could also use that glow-in-the-dark paint we showed you earlier with our gooey gunk. Make these glow in the dark. We call them glow-in-the-dark.
Glowing space balls.
Glowing space balls, because is it a liquid, is it a solid?
That's right, and let me just add a little bit more water to this. And I'm going to pick this up now, put it in my hand, and take a look at this. It's a solid ball. If you can see this, watch what happens when I hold it in my hand. The ball actually starts to melt and drip through my fingers. And I'll do that one more time. Squeeze it. It's a solid ball like a rock. And in just a few seconds, it turns back into a liquid.
Right, and I always like to say as a mom, the ooey or the gooey or
the better.
Yeah, the kids love this part.
Ooey gooey. And I think it's a great way to introduce them to science as well. And once again, add that glow-in-the-dark paint. It is amazing.
Yes, it is.
And well, Danita, it's a good thing that everything we've made here today is washable with soap and water. So I'm going to go wash my hands right now.
Yes, but stay tuned because coming up next, we're going to show you how to make even more wild and wacky concoctions and contraptions.
That's right, like super bubble ooze, bubbling brew finger paints.
And one of my personal favorites, the fruity lip gloss. All this and much, much more.
We'll be right back. Hi, I'm John Thomas.
And I'm Danita Thomas.
Welcome back to Kid Concoctions and Contraptions. And as you can see, we have a lot of fun concoctions and contraptions for you that are going to teach your kids about science, art, and math while they're having fun. Let's start with our first one, which is Super Bubble Ooze. As you can see, it's stretchy and ooey and gooey, and it's also like a popular toy that they sell in the stores that can be very expensive, but we're going to make it for pennies. Now, the great part about Super Bubble Ooze is you can put it on the end of a straw and blow gigantic bubbles.
In fact, I have to say that it was our 14-year-old son who thought of this idea. We made the bubble ooze, we loved it, we were playing with it, stretching it, and he had the idea of putting it on the end of the straw and blowing the bubbles. Another neat thing is a commercial product, John said it's really popular. You can buy, you blow a bubble similar to this, and then you throw it away. But this one is even better because you can use it over and over and over again.
Many, many, many times. And once again, a fraction of the cost of what you paid for it in the store. And let me show you how to do it. It is a science experiment demonstrating how two liquids become a solid. In 1 cup, I have a little bit of school glue gel. I'm just going to add 2 drops of our washable colorant to that. And actually 1 or 2 drops is all you will need for this because you want it to kind of be translucent. And then on top of that, we're going to pour equal parts of liquid starch. Now we're going to stir this up, let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes until the glue begins to absorb the starch. Reach your hands in here, start kneading it, and within about 10 minutes, you will have Super Bubble Ooze stored in a Ziploc bag or an airtight container, and the kids will have hours and hours of fun. And once again, you made it for pennies.
Completely reusable. I love that concoction. Now the next one I'm going to show you is our magic bubble paint. You can create awesome picture frames, photo frames, gift bags like you see here.
Wrapping paper,
right,
greeting cards, the possibilities are endless.
Invitations, Christmas cards, all different types of things. Using nothing more than dish soap you have around the house. In fact, I'm going to make it right now. I have in this cup a little bit of dish soap, and I'm going to add some water to my dish soap, and then just stir in some kids paint here. I'm using a powdered tempera. That's okay if we make a little mess. It wipes right up with water. Just a little bit of powdered tempera paint is what I've added in here. You could use food coloring or colorants or even a safe non-toxic kids paint. You just want to stir it up, and then you're going to blow a mound of bubbles.
That's right. And this is kind of like blowing bubbles in your chocolate milk. I'm sure none of you have ever done that before. So once you blow the bubbles, you'll see Danita will capture the print. And the secret to this is you want to make sure it's stirred up really, really well. There you go, and I'll blow the bubbles, and you make the prints.
That's right. And what I have John doing here is I have 2 straws put together, and as a mom, I'm going to tell you this is a great tip because that way your little youngsters won't be having their bubble print on their eyebrows or their face. But you just want to pop the bubbles, as you see me do here, and I'm going to show you how it transfers over. You could just keep going. John, if you don't mind blowing some more bubbles for me.
I have lots of hot air, Danita, so I can do this all day.
Okay. What you do is you just keep transferring them over to whatever you're making, whether it's a piece of stationery, a greeting card, an index card. A little of this goes a long, long way. In fact, we've spoken at schools before where we've done this with kids, whole classrooms, 1, 2, 3 classrooms at a time.
That's right. I think people are surprised at how far you can stretch this project. Also, our quick dry method, if you don't want to wait around for the bubbles to pop and for the paper to dry, just put a paper towel on top.
Right, just like this. Just lay it down, kind of smooth out your bubbles. That way it's dried instantly if you want the kids to take it with them or be able to play with it right away. And there you go. That's our magic bubble paint.
Look at that. Now, if you were to buy something like that at a higher-end stationery store, it would cost a lot of money. Now, at this point, you can make another batch of bubble paint in a different color, layered on top of here, and your results will be just like we have here. Here we actually created a 3-paint effect. The bag was actually a red bag, and we just put 2 colors of paint over it. So once again, as I said, lots that you can do, and the possibilities are endless.
And like we encourage you to use each one of these concoctions to teach your kids about the different colors, the different shapes, the bubbles, the science aspect of the 2 liquids mixing together to become a solid, and use these wonderful, fun opportunities to teach your kids.
Also great for for grandparents. I know my mom loves to do these things with our 4 kids when they come to her house. So a great way to spend quality times with it, whether it be your children or your grandchildren. Now let's move on to a contraption. And this one is pretty cool. I have to say my boys love this. We call it the ball launcher. And look at that. We shoot ping pong balls out of, believe it or not, this is nothing more than just 2 toilet paper tubes. What I've done is I've taken one tube. What I've done is I've taken one tube, as you can see here, and I slit the tube up the side. And I did that because you want to make the inside tube just slightly smaller than the outer tube. Put a piece of tape down it, and then you need 4 paper clips and 2 rubber bands. Here you can see I put a paper clip on the outer side, each side, and then a paper clip on the inner tube on each side. Now take your rubber band, connect one rubber band from the inner paper clip to the outer, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. Pull it back, and you have your ball launcher.
And who would have ever thought we could have this much fun with toilet paper tubes, which we all have in our house,
So
right?
great recycling project. Also, once again, you can use that glow-in-the-dark paint. Paint your ball launcher and your balls. If you take this outside and you're shooting the balls in the dark, you'll be able to find them. A lot of fun, and once again, inexpensive. A toilet paper tube you would have thrown in the trash.
With our next project, I'm going to show you how to make is your own lip gloss. Now, this is really popular with girls of all ages. You can make lip gloss, which can be pretty expensive in the store, out of nothing more than vegetable shortening. I have here a sample of my lip gloss I created. I have it just in a film container, and you can see it. I'll even try it on for you today to let you see how wonderful it works.
That's right. The other thing is, if you're going to, you can buy the film containers new,
Yes.
but if you're going to recycle or use a film container that had film in it, you want to wash it out very, very well with soap and water to
Right.
get rid of that film residue.
Right, very easy to do. What I have in this cup is nothing more than about, I'd say 2 tablespoons of vegetable shortening, the solid shortening.
That's right.
And I'm adding to that a package of unsweetened drink mix. You're just going to stir these 2 together until they mix into one solid solution, and then microwave this little cup until it turns into a liquid, often depending, 30 seconds to a minute, depending on your
It
microwave.
depends on the wattage of the microwave.
Right.
But take the liquid, pour it into the film container, pop it in the refrigerator for 5 minutes, and you have fabulous fruity lip gloss in as many wacky and wild flavors of powdered drink mix you can find. And once again, you want to use the unsweetened powdered drink mix for that one.
Yes, unsweetened. And you can see here I decorated this one with stickers. You could also recycle some of the little lip gloss containers the girls already have around
That's
the
right,
house.
refill them because lip gloss can be expensive. Our daughter made this for the first time at a slumber party, and I cannot tell you how many parents called the next day and said, "How in the world did you make your own lip gloss?" And when we told them, of course, they didn't believe it.
They all wanted the recipe.
They did.
Now this concoction we're going to show you here is kind of a medieval looking beautiful vase. Believe it or not, we have to tell you.
Well, let's say it looks like stone and it feels like stone. I don't know. I think it could be something that would be in a museum or an art gallery. What do you think that it could be? But it is made of, you want to give the secret away?
Dryer lint clay. So no longer do you need to throw out that old dryer lint you have around the house. We'll show you a fun way to create a wonderful clay. Now you can put this around a recycled bottle like we did here, or take terracotta pots, put that around there, insert little scraps of buttons. We all have buttons laying around the house.
I think the buttons stay around longer than the shirt does because you know you always throw the shirt away or donate it and those buttons are left. Take a little pot, as Danita said, wrap it around there, push the buttons in, or whatever you have, broken up pieces of jewelry. And once again, I know a lot of people think, ooh, dryer lint. Well, it's clean, right? You just washed it and dried it.
Right. Another idea I like to do is take the inexpensive candles that you can buy at that everything costs $1 type in stores and put this around. It makes a wonderful, neat effect on a candle.
It really does. Now, this next project, another great science experiment. I call it Ocean in a Bottle, and that's because I made it blue. But of course, you could maybe make it red or orange and call it Lava in a Bottle. A simple science experiment, of course, demonstrating one of the simplest scientific phenomenons that oil and water don't mix. I guess if you could call that a phenomenon.
Yes.
What I have here in this bowl is a little bit of cooking oil. To that, I'm going to add, once again, powdered tempera paint. And this is the same powdered tempera paint we use for the magic bubble paint. We're going to stir this together until the powdered tempera paint and the oil mix together.
And I have to say, I have a lot of teachers who tell me they use this concoction in the classroom when they're studying about oceans, not just when the principle of the scientific oil and water don't mix, but they use this fun toy to bring it into the classroom to add fun to the study of ocean life.
Or yeah, if you're learning about maybe how the moon and how the tides change, or about the ocean and sea life. There we go. Now we want to mix this up, and you want to let this sit for about 5 minutes until any of the paint that hasn't mixed into the oil settles into the bottom. And then I'm going to take a funnel, and we're going to pour this oil and powdered tempera paint mixture right into the bottle. And usually I like to fill it maybe a little less than half. Well, Yeah, that's pretty good.
And like John said, if there's any sediment, just leave that in the bottom of your bowl because your concoction will work best this way.
Right, now we're going to add to that a little bit of water, and watch. You'll notice at the bottom of the bottle that you'll be able to see the water actually filling up, and almost it's if magic, as if the oil is lifting right to the top. There you go. We're going to put our lid on, and there we have made our own ocean in a bottle. Look at that.
Yeah, in a couple minutes, all the paint will go up to the top, and it'll look just like our big one we made earlier.
There you go. Very easy and a lot of fun. And we learned about science, too.
That's right. And our next concoction, we call them spongy flyers. These are a lot of fun. Once again, inspired by something you could buy at a toy store. We're going to show you how to make it with just common ingredients for a lot less money.
And very, very inexpensive. It's nothing more than kitchen sponges. And for this project, you want to use the cheap sponges. You know, the nylon ones that I know growing up my mom hated to clean with because they fell apart. Perfect for this project because they always stay soft. So what you need is 3 kitchen sponges. Take each sponge, and we'll begin by cutting each sponge in half. Now what I'm showing you here will be enough to make 2 spongy flyers. There we go. If you could just take that stack for me, Danita.
Sure.
Now take each of the sponges that you cut in half, and we want to cut each of those into thirds. So once again, a little bit of math here.
That's right. I was going to say, take this opportunity. You're teaching the kids fractions and mathematics. They're cutting in half. They're cutting in thirds. Learning can be fun, as John and I like to tell you. And not only that, we really like to put an emphasis on the quality time that you can have with your children while you're doing all these concoctions. They're quick. They're easy. They're very inexpensive. And most of the time, these are all things you have laying around your house.
That's right. Now that I've cut 3 stacks into thirds, take your little cable tie, which you can find in the electrical department or automotive department of any discount store, loop it through a rubber band, grab your stack of sponges, give them a great big twist. And Danita, if you can pull that cable tie around there for me.
Sure you can.
There
Now
you go.
this is a bright colored cable tie, but you don't have to have the fancy bright color ones.
You're not going to see it anyway.
Right,
once
the little white
sponges-
ones that you have in your garage will work just as well.
There you go. I'll take my scissors, and then I'll snip this little tail off. And look at that, something you would have spent a lot of money for in the store. We just made for pennies. This is also great in the summertime. You could take and wet it and shoot it around the backyard, or for a birthday party, set up a pyramid of cups and use this to have a birthday game of shooting the cups over. Great fun.
Our kids find endless possibilities to do those spongy flyers. Now the next concoction we're going to make is a bathtub finger paint. Now kids love to paint, and we thought this is a great way to get them in the bath.
But sometimes they don't love to get in the bathtub and take a bath. So hopefully this is a way to get the kids into the bathtub and have a lot of fun.
Right. All you have here is a little bit of dish soap. We're going to make it right here with the dish soap. We're going to use cornstarch from our kitchen pantry, and that's a thickening agent. Once again, you're teaching the kids a little bit about life skills because, as you know, if you're cooking as a mom or grandma in the kitchen or a dad, you know that cornstarch is a thickening agent. So it's going to thicken the soap to adhere better when they're painting on their bathtubs. We've added a little bit of washable coloring in here to make it easy to come off the side of your tubs.
And off your hands.
And off your hands. And you just stir up this concoction and you're ready to go. Now this makes a wonderful bathtub paint like we said, or you can use it for paper painting as well. In fact, John and I would like to give you a tip right now that a great finger painting paper is freezer paper. It's an inexpensive alternative to the finger painting paper.
That's right, and you want to use it shiny side up because I will tell you, finger painting paper can be extremely expensive, but for pennies you can get an entire roll of freezer paper. And also it's a lot more convenient because it takes less space.
That's a nice glossy paint as well.
There you go, and here I'll maybe add a little bit of red in there. And keep in mind, the kids can do this in the bathtub, or if they want to do it on their body, use some of that baby shampoo. Color the baby shampoo and add the cornstarch, and that makes it even better for younger children
It's a
as well.
great tip, yes, for the younger ones, the babies. You don't have to worry about it burning their eyes that way too. Now we're going to show you another concoction. It's fun for the holidays. This is a gumdrop ornament. Now this is a great way to celebrate the holidays. Great hand-eye coordination activity for your kids as well. We just have a styrofoam ball here, and we're going to take some spice drops. Now I have a spice drop and a toothpick. I broke the toothpick in half, and I just want to insert one half of the toothpick into the spice drop, the other half into your styrofoam ball.
And this also for the children is great for hand-eye coordination and dexterity.
Yes, and use it once again as this opportunity to teach the younger ones about their colors. Or, like I like to say, is if you're spending time with them, teach them about the holidays, the different traditions. In fact, what we do a lot of times with our kids is we use these traditions year after year to celebrate the holidays at our house.
And once again, it's just a great way to get the family together and spend great quality family time. And getting back to the basics, hey, you can't beat that. Let's move on to something that is great for the holidays and smells so good and will make your house smell fantastic as well. And that is a pomander ball, which these I think we found date back all the way back to Colonial Williamsburg. But it's fun for the kids. Once again, great hand-eye coordination and dexterity.
Right, and here's our pomander ball we made, the one that was probably about 5 to 7 years old. This is made out of the same size orange you see here. And this is a great lesson because the kids are going to see how this preserves. In fact, like you said, this dates back
if
to
you're
the
talking
ancient
about
Egypt.
if you're talking about ancient Egypt, where they preserved the mummies with different spices and herbs, the same type of concept here, just simplified by using the orange and putting the cloves into the orange and then rolling it in regular cinnamon that you cook with. It will preserve that orange. The orange will shrink down to roughly about 1/4 its size, but pomander balls have been found now, I think, over 200 years old. They last a long, long time.
So this will last year after year, and we have to mention too, it smells absolutely wonderful.
It does. It smells really fantastic. In fact, one of those fancy magazines that I know Danita reads had an entire article about pomander balls, and they're fantastic. They're great for decorating too. I'm not a decorator, but that's what I saw in the magazine.
Speaking of decorating, this is a fun way your kids can make sparkle votives. This is a sparkle votive we've made here. You can see them illuminate through the glass, and it's sparkle, and you're going to be surprised at how easy it is to make.
It is very easy to make, and one of the reasons that it sparkles so much is the salt that's on the outside, which Danita's going to show you now, actually refracts the light. So we got that little bit of science in there as well.
We always whenever we can take science and math, reading and art and all, mix them together to have fun with the kids. It's a great, great combination. What I'm doing here is taking a little bit of school glue. Once again, this is just regular washable school glue. Painting it on a glass. This happens to be a recycled baby food jar, I believe, from our little guy.
And we have lots of those in our house
Yes,
right
we
now.
do. You just sprinkle the salt on and shake it off, and that's it. That's how you make your sparkle votive. Now, what you see here, we've put little stickers on first, and then painted over the stickers so you get a nice illumination.
Right, just paint over the stickers with the glue, sprinkle on the salt, and there's so much you can do with that for the holidays. A great way to, once again, recycle those old baby food jars.
Right, and I have to say, whether it's a sparkle votive or a pomander ball or bath salts, these are also great opportunities for the kids, not only to play and learn, but to make gifts that they can give to their loved ones or special people in their lives.
Exactly. Not only good, as we mentioned, for parents and grandparents, but teachers. I mean, learning can be fun in the classroom, and what a way to get children interested in maybe making fossils or about ancient Egypt or mummies. So really, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, parents, teachers, all can use these projects to make learning fun. And when learning can be fun, you've unlocked a priceless gift for the kids.
That's right. I always say if there's any child in your life, this is a great opportunity to use these concoctions with them. This next concoction we're going to do is a science project. It's a lot of fun. It's just a wow kind of thing. So just watch as we amaze you.
And this is bubbling brew finger paints.
Right.
And you'll see why we call that in a minute.
I have nothing more than dish soap in here, and I'm adding to that some white vinegar. This, once again, is a math experiment because you're doing equal parts. To my vinegar and my dish soap, I'm adding a little color. I like to use red, and you'll see why in a minute.
And right here, I have nothing more than a little bit of baking soda. And I'm going to pour on top of that, there you go, just a little bit of water and stir that up. Now, this is the magic. Watch what happens when we mix these two potions together. Watch this.
Here goes the bubble.
There it goes into a big foaming volcano of bubbles. And once again, this makes a wonderful, wonderful finger paint. Also makes a great watercolor paint. And if the kids ever make, a volcano for the science fair at school, what a great way to make your volcano erupt.
Now the kids can paint with this while it's still bubbling and foamy and a lot of fun, or they can wait till the bubbles dissipate and it becomes a wonderful watercolor paint as well.
If you use it when it's foamy, it's more of a pastel color.
Yes.
And if you wait for the bubbles to settle, you'll get more of a solid, bright, vibrant color.
That's a lot of fun. In fact, our bubbles may just creep on down at the table.
It looks like it's alive. It keeps growing.
It keeps growing. Now, our next concoction, we're going to show you how to make our bath salts. Now, I love this as a mom. This is a treat because it's fun to enjoy and to make at the same time. You take nothing more than the Epsom salts that you could find in the store, and to that, we're going to have John add a little bit of color. This could be food coloring or colorant, and a little bit of fragrance, John, if you want to add some fragrance. Now, a great tip for you, if we all go to the shopping centers and we get those free samples of the nice perfume, works wonderful for this. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
I know
It's a beautiful
Danita likes that
fragrance.
because she loves fancy perfumes, and you can actually get the little samples for free and have bath salts that smell really, really fancy. You'll impress your guests, and also it's great if you give it as a gift.
Right. All you do is shake this. That's how we made it. We just put it all in a bag and shake it. And you can see here, I have finished samples. And what you can do is layer them and let the kids use this as layered sand art. But it's even better than the layered sand art you buy in the store because you don't have to buy it, for one. It's inexpensive. But after you layer it, it's going to have a whole nother purpose. which we're going to show you.
Show you right now. And once again, if you have a problem getting the kids into the bathtub, this is perfect. We call these our bath tints. And look, I'm just going to pour a little bit of that in there.
Pour a bunch in there, John.
Pour a bunch of it
Yeah.
in. Stir it up, and so the kids can have a nice, relaxing bath and tint their water as well. A lot of fun and very, very inexpensive.
It makes the bath very, very soft as well. In fact, you know what? We like to leave these by the edge of the bathtub and let the kids just add them as their own tub tints. But once again, they've made it. And a lot of these concoctions, you can make them or you can buy them in the store. But kids are so much more attached to things that they've made
Well, and
themselves.
I think there's that sense of pride when you could say, hey, I've made it myself.
Oh, that's right. It becomes priceless to them, right,
It
John?
truly does.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this, and any one of these projects are guaranteed to get your kids away from the video games, TV, DVDs, and into learning fun.
That's right. We've got even more great projects coming up. We're going to make a squeeze rocket, peppermint wreaths, magic marbleizing paint, and Danita, even a hovercraft.
That's right, so don't go away. You don't want to miss a single Kid Concoctions or contraption.
We'll be right back. Hi, I'm John Thomas.
And I'm Danita Thomas.
And we have been having so much fun creating Kid Concoctions and contraptions.
We have a lot more for you, so we're ready to get started if you are. Why don't you join us as we make our first project?
That's right. And right here we have magic marbleizing. And if you take a look, I've marbleized gift bags. Here we have a little greeting card, a photo card, a photo frame. So much you can do with this. In fact, our son the other day even marbleized his lunch bag, which I thought was pretty creative. But in the craft stores, marbleizing kits can be very, very expensive. But we're going to show you how to do it with some household ingredients.
You'll be quite surprised what this one's made out of.
That's right. Right here on this plate, I have nothing more than shaving cream that I've just sprayed on here and then smoothed out with my hand. And on top of that, I'm just going to put a few drops of our liquid colorant, just like so. And I usually like to use at least 2 colors. You can add 3, which I'll do right now. Let's use red, yellow, or red, blue, and green. How does that sound? Now you take your straw, swirl it around, and that's what makes your marbleized pattern. Pull it right through the shaving cream. And now this is the fun part that most people can't believe. I'm going to take this envelope, put it right down into the shaving cream and the colorant. You want to tap it down so you make sure that it hits the color. And I'm going to put it right on the sheet of paper.
And before you wipe it off, John, I want to show you. This is the way it's supposed to look. You would think this is a mistake. It didn't look like the samples, but watch what happens when John wipes it off.
With just a napkin, one swipe of the napkin, and there you go. You have created your marbleized note card. And look how beautiful that is. And who would have ever dreamed you did it with shaving cream and a little bit of liquid color?
Yes, you could use food coloring in that as
Food
well.
coloring will work every bit as well.
Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to make your own sidewalk chalk. Sidewalk chalk is a big hit with youngsters, but very few people know you can make it yourself. As you can see, the one I'm going to make writes on the sidewalk just as well as what you would buy in the store. But all you need to make our version is a little bit of plaster of Paris, some water, and once again we're using some liquid colorant. You just want to stir this together, and once this concoction is all mixed together, then you can spoon it into candy molds or even toilet paper tubes, or just different types of molds that you would have around the house. In fact, John and I get resourceful. We even save the blister packs for molds that you would buy.
From the toys. I'll actually go to one of those stores where everything costs $1, and we bought an airplane for our son, and I took the blister pack off of the airplane, and he made a large piece of sidewalk chalk in the shape of a plane. So there is truly so much you can do. So save those blister packs. They're quite useful.
But not only can you make sidewalk chalk with your liquid colorants, but we have a tip for you. You could also use the glow-in-the-dark paints. Squirt some into your concoction, and you're not going to believe it. You can actually make sidewalk chalk that glows in the dark. So you can take it outside and write, and as you begin to write, it just begins to illuminate right there in the dark.
That's right. But what you need to do first is draw on the sidewalk, turn on the porch light, and then when you turn off the porch light, your entire sidewalk will glow. And the neighbor kids will think that's pretty cool.
You kind of supercharge it with that light.
Exactly.
Here we go is my mixture. I'm just pouring it right here into this mold. This can be a soap mold, it could be a candy mold, a blister pack like John and I said, or as you can see here, I've just taken a toilet paper tube. You can tape up one end of your toilet paper tube with a little bit of wax paper tape, and then when it dries, peel off your toilet paper tube or paper towel tube, and there you go. You have a large stick of sidewalk chalk. So you don't even have to get fancy here with the molds. You could use tissue tubes, which we all have in our house.
That's right. The other thing I'd like to show you, and this is really helpful for parents, if you ever send kids outside with sidewalk chalk and they come in the house covered head to toe with powder, well, take a look at this. And this is a suede vest I have on. This sidewalk chalk does not come off on your clothing. The plaster creates a natural seal on the chalk that isn't broken until the kids start to write with it. I know that's good for a lot of kids who maybe have asthma or a breathing problem. It cuts down on the dust. So a fun project, and the kids love it.
Cuts down on the mess, too.
Yeah, and the mess, and the mess.
Now we're going to show you our next project. This is a science experiment. We're going to layer liquids, which is really kind of special. John, if you want to show them how we do this one?
That's right. What I've already done in this one container, at the very bottom, I have nothing more than a little bit of rubbing alcohol that I added a few drops of red food coloring to. The next layer is olive oil, and that is the olive oil in its natural state that hasn't been colored. And for the last layer, I'm going to add water with a few drops of blue colorant. We're going to stir this up. Now, the reason the liquids stay apart is because there are different levels of density, and the different levels of density determine which liquid goes where. And let me just pour this on top. Whoops, there we go.
You could see some of the liquids would mix together, even create a purple color, which we didn't even have. So you can use this opportunity to not only teach the kids about the different layering of the oils and why they don't mix, but also as a combination of when you take two colors in their raw state, mix them together, how you'll get an all brand new color.
That's right. And once again, if you look over here, here you can see the three different colors that have separated. And here, once again, we poured in the blue on top, and a little bit went down to where the red was, and it turned it purple. So it actually gave us a layer of red, a layer of purple, a layer of kind of like a greenish yellow, and a layer of blue. And once again, it's science, and it's fun when you put them up in the kitchen windowsill and the light shines through. It gives you a rainbow effect on the kitchen counter. Very, very pretty.
It's hard to believe that's made with just a few liquids we all have in our house.
That's right.
The next project I want to show you is my peppermint wreaths. Now these are great for the holidays. You could use these to hang on your Christmas tree, to decorate them, or you can use them as package ties. But believe it or not, these wonderful concoctions are actually edible. It's nothing more than just a little candy you get sometimes at your favorite restaurant, other times in the store. Just take the wrappers off, and what I like to do is lay a piece of foil down on a cookie sheet and just make a circle out of them. It takes about 6 or 7 of the little peppermint discs that we have here. Take the papers off, lay them on the foil, and then you want to pop this into the oven about 350 degrees for about 3 to 5 minutes. A little secret tip for you here is when you peek through the window and you barely see the candy starting to melt, that's when you want to pull them out of the oven and they're ready to go. When they're dry and cool to the touch, you just let the kids pick them up, or mom can help them too, and then you can decorate them with different adornments and ribbons. And like I said, they make wonderful, wonderful ornaments. And the kids can eat them when they're done.
Not only ornaments, but package ties. Our son even took one and glued it on the front of a greeting card and made a greeting card. The only thing is, if you have a pet or a cat or a dog, you don't want to put them on the bottom branches of the Christmas tree because they will jump up and grab them.
Might be tempting.
Yeah, and it's tempting for us, much less the family pet. But here's something that I think the moms are going to love and the grandmas are going to love, because you've seen these in those expensive bath type stores where you buy all the fancy candles. These are gel air fresheners, and that's right, we have made our own out of simple kitchen ingredients. It's nothing more than a little bit of unflavored gelatin that I got at the grocery store, and I'm going to pour 2 packages of that into a cup of water that I have right here. And then to that, you want to add some of your favorite perfume. And this is a neat tip. Go to the local store, to the perfume counter, and you can actually get this for free. I know Danita does it all the time.
Right. In fact, many of us women will be at the store and they'll give you little samples of fragrance, sometimes your favorite fragrance. Save those because you can use them in this concoction as well as a few others that we showed you earlier. But just add your scent, because this is going to be what makes it smell wonderful in your home. Stir it up, and then it's ready to go.
That's right. I'm going to pour this over top what I have right here. And in this cup, I have some little wax hearts. But as you can see over here, I've used seashells. I've also have some wax fruit. But we've used even silk flowers in our gel air fresheners. And you can actually coordinate it with the decor in your house. But they smell incredible. And as you'll be surprised to find out, they last much, much, much longer than what you buy in the store. And you customize the fragrance to what you like. So they make great gifts as well.
Yes, it does. Another concoction I'm going to show you is very, very easy to make. You know how our kids are always in the sporting events and they like to paint on the window. You see the safe window paint for cars. You can make it very inexpensively. And not only that, not just for the cars and say go team, but you could also paint on your windows for the different holidays. It's nothing more than a little bit of dish soap and some liquid paint for the kids. What I like to do is I like to use the washable, safe kids paint. You know, the liquid tempers are wonderful for this. You just mix it up in equal parts, will be wonderful for the recipe. And the reason why you want to use the soap is it makes for a great cleanup, and it also makes it very smooth and glossy when it goes onto the windows.
And as Danita said, if you have windows in the front of your house, a picture window like we do at home, you can maybe decorate it for all the various different holidays. And cleanup is so easy for this. You just take a paper towel and wipe it right off. Even when it's dry, it wipes right off with a paper towel. You don't even need any water.
Yeah, the cleanup is so wonderful with this because of the liquid soap.
And it's a lot of fun. Now this is something that is a personal favorite of mine, the fake spill. And if you take a look at this, here we have a little fake pudding spill, and here we have one that I know if Danita saw in our daughter's bedroom, she would really not be happy, a nail polish spill. And once again, I saw these in California at one of those gift type shops, and it was very expensive. And I said to my son, we could probably make this at home. And sure enough, we figured out a way to do it. What I have here is nothing more than a little bit of white glue, and I'm going to pour that into a coffee mug because what we're making here is a coffee spill. So pour the white glue right into the mug, and then to that, since coffee is brown, we're going to add a little bit of brown paint to that, and I'm going to stir that up.
Yep. Now what's so wonderful about this, like John said, you can make any type of spill you want. And if you saw our spills earlier, we recycled. We used the old fingernail polish container, we used the old pudding cup container. So you're recycling as well as making your concoction. Now this one, John wants to make a little more authentic, so we used a real coffee cup. Once again, this could be, you're not ruining it. You could wash it out when you're done. But you just want to pour your spill over onto some plastic wrap. And the secret here, and this is what we always say, is in accessorizing. You want to lay little accessories in your fake spill, like your little sugar packs or sweetener packs or a spoon, and then it looks really, really authentic.
That's right. Let it dry for approximately 48 hours, and when it's dry, peel off your fake spill, lay it on the floor, and you'll surprise your kids because it truly is a lot of fun, and the kids are going to have fun making it.
It's hard to believe that's made out of nothing more than the white school-type glue.
Right, white glue, that's all.
All right, our next concoction we're going to show you is our applesauce cinnamon ornaments. Now, these are a classic concoction that have been around for a long time, but we like to think we made it just a little bit better.
That's right. Actually, we found out these date back to colonial Williamsburg, where I guess they had an abundance of apples. So this is good if you're talking to the kids about colonial times and studying Williamsburg and American history. Nothing more than equal parts applesauce and cinnamon, which I'm going to pour right here into this little zip bag. And we like the zip bag because it's a lot neater than stirring it up in the bowl, and it keeps the kids' hands clean. So we'll just put that in there. And this is our secret ingredient, a little bit of white glue. And the white glue is to strengthen the applesauce cinnamon ornament so it doesn't break. I know growing up we used to make these every year for Christmas, and we'd open the box the following year and half the ornaments would be broken. So this solves that problem. The ornaments here are probably about 3 or 4 years old, and they've never broken. So this will strengthen those applesauce cinnamon ornaments and make the kids happy as well.
All right, now you can see I'm here just kneading this. So instead of the kids' hands getting all messy or a bowl getting messy, they're just going to knead it in a bag. In a couple of minutes, as I keep kneading, you're going to see it's going to turn into a dough, just like what John has here on the table.
Right here, I just push the dough out with my hands, or you can use a rolling pin. And then here I'm going to take a little pumpkin cookie cutter and just put right on top. Let's pull the excess dough off from around that. And there you have it. Now, if you want to make this into an ornament, just take a drinking straw and poke a little hole through there, let it dry, and then when it's dried, pick it up and tie a ribbon around it. And even makes a great car air freshener. Our son did that with his Boy Scout troop, and the only thing is every time you open the car door, it smelled like a fresh apple pie was baking. So a lot of fun, but a great alternative to those chemical-smelling type of air fresheners.
Right, and you could do these for the different holidays like we've done here. You could do it for autumn, you could do them for Christmas, or all different type of holidays. And I just wanted to show you, as I pick this one up, tap on it, you can see that it's hard, and like John said, it keeps it from crumbling because you've added the white school glue.
That's right. What we have here is another great recycling project. I'm sure we all have those candles around the house. They start off really new and really great looking, but if you have small children like we do, kids can't resist taking their thumb or their fingernail and scratching the side of the candle. So a way to rejuvenate those old unsightly candles is with nothing more than a little school glue.
That's right. I'll show you how to make it right now. You just want to dip your paintbrush into some school glue and paint your candle. Now, John said something about recycling old candles, but you can also purchase very inexpensive candles at those stores where things are $1 or less, I think, and you can buy your candle new, not have a lot invested in it, but wait, when we're done, it's going to look fantastic. After you brush on the glue, you want to sprinkle it with glitter. And keep in mind that the glue is going to dry clear. So all you're going to see is the beauty of the glitter all over the candle. And these are great for holidays. Once again, you can use it year-round. Every single holiday you can make glitter candles, or just a special occasion with the child.
That's right. In fact, we were talking about the old marred candles. Our children did that last Thanksgiving. Or no, it was actually Christmas, where they took the candles out, brushed on the glue, and they looked fabulous on the dinner table, and they were so proud of themselves that they actually made it, and yet it was so easy to do. And it was a great time to spend with them as well.
It's a great way to have your kids tie into the whole holiday dinner or festive dinner.
That's right. The next project we want to show you is something that is a personal favorite of mine. I know back when I was in Boy Scouts, I used to always send away for those instructions in the magazines on how to make different contraptions. Well, one of my favorite was a hovercraft, and very often when you'd send for those directions, they would be so complicated, and when you finished with it, it wouldn't work. Well, this is a fail-proof hovercraft that you can make out of some simple ingredients. If you've ever gotten those little CDs in the mail for those online type internet companies that you always throw in the trash, take the CD and save it, because this is going to be part of your hovercraft. The next thing you're going to need is the top of a dish soap bottle. Pull it apart, put the bottom part through the hole of the CD, and then take the top part of the dish soap bottle and wrap a balloon around it, and then just put that back on top of it. Let me put this down the table here so I can push on it. You're going to need to push on it pretty hard to reconnect it. Make sure the bottle is open, the bottle cap is open, and then I'm going to blow it up.
Now, we like to use this as a recycling project as well. Like John said, these are CDs you would get free in the mail, normally throw out, but we're going to show you how to make the fun hovercraft with them.
There you go. Set it down on the table, and you can see it flying around. Look at that.
Now,
there you go.
If we blew on that with a little air, we could take it racing across the table. We just wanted it to stay in one spot so you could see it today.
That's right. Just take a drinking straw, and the kids can have hovercraft races right in your own kitchen. It's so much fun, and once again, a great project for a science fair.
Now, this next project is really popular among preschool teachers. I know they tell me that they do it all the time. It's marble painting. You can see we've made some beautiful samples here. We've just taken paper, and we're going to show you how to do this, and created wonderful works of art with nothing more than marble and a little bit of paint.
Yes, very easy to make. As you can see, the results are stunning. What I've done is I've taken a little tray right here, and in the bottom I put some black paint. Black paper. We find that neon paint on black paper gives probably the best effect. So put the black paper in the bottom of your tray, and here I have some marbles. I'm going to drop some marbles into each of the colors of washable liquid tempera paint, just like so. There you go. Thank you. Put those all together, then grab your spoons, mix the marbles up, and then drop some of the marbles on the side of the tray. And we're going to do it on the side because you'll see what happens when we start to roll the marbles. It will create a pattern. So there's a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue.
Great way to teach the kids all their different colors while you're doing
That's
your
right, because the
marble
colors will actually mix. So you can ask the kids, for example, what will happen when the yellow and the blue mixes together.
You get what? Green?
Do you know? You'll get green. Hopefully we know that.
How were you testing me there?
There you go. And then let me just scoot these marbles across the paper and back and forth. And look at that. We've created let me just tilt this. There we go. We've created a beautiful marbleized pattern. Look at that. And you could keep going on and on and on to create a better effect. But you could do greeting cards, you could do wrapping paper, you could do photo frames. The possibilities are endless.
Now, our next concoction I want to show you is a very simple concoction. I call it an instant concoction. Most of us have vanilla pudding in our house. In fact, they come in the convenient little cups. Just take it out, add a couple drops of food coloring to it, stir it up, and the kids are going to have a wonderful edible finger paint. Now, John and I like to give the tip that if you use freezer paper instead of finger paint paper, you're going to save a lot of money by doing that. And also, this is a great way for young kids to have a first paint because, like I said, it is edible and it is non-toxic. In fact, a lot of times when people say non-toxic kids paint, it doesn't mean that it necessarily is going to taste good, but this pudding paint will taste good for the little youngsters. In fact, we heard a friend of ours telling a story that their child made this pudding paint in preschool, and by the time it was time to paint, they didn't have any paint left. But anyway, you want to just take this paint, you can paint with it on papers, they can just eat it off their fingers, or like I said, the freezer paper works wonderful with this paint as well.
That's right. The next thing I want to show you is a contraption, and it's one of my favorite contraptions made of, once again, household ingredients. That seems to be all we use.
Yes, it is.
Probably because it's inexpensive, and it gets the creative juices flowing when you start looking around the house, and even our kids will start to look around and say, hey, that ketchup mustard squeeze bottle could be a rocket, and that's what I've done right here. I've taken a mustard ketchup squeeze bottle, and I've taken a little straw and just pushed it in the end, and you can see I put a little bit of tape around there, just like so. And now we're going to make our rocket, and our rocket, once again, is nothing more than another straw where I've taped up the end and then put a little eraser on the end of the straw. I'm just going to put this straw right on top, just like so, and then we're going to give a little pressure on the bottle, and just like so, you can see the rocket shoots right up in the air. The kids love this. They think it's fantastic. And of course, Mom and Dad, you want to supervise the kids when they're doing this. And plus, that's half the fun. I mean, the parents spending time with the children to make all of these concoctions. And that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope we've been able to inspire you to spend time crafting and concocting with a child in your life.
Remember, the children are our future, and giving them the gift of knowledge is the key to unlocking some of the world's most priceless treasure. So take the time to make a difference in a child's life. You'll be glad you did.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time when we'll be back with more Kid Concoctions and Contraptions. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you then.